let's talk about our guitar strings. First of all, just in case you haven't counted them yet, there are 6 of them. Now, when we went over the types of guitar, I did not mention the 12-string guitar. It is, because mostly it's just another version of an acoustic or electric guitar. But there are 12-string guitars, but even those are just 6 doubled strings, okay? So if you've heard that term before, you can not worry about that. It's still based on 6 strings. Are there guitars with 7 strings? Yes, but that is not the primary way that we play the guitar. There are 6 strings. Now, how do we number them? I want you to guess. Which string do you think is the number 1 string? All right, I assume you guessed. And I'm going to guess you probably thought this was it. But it's actually this one, down on the bottom, okay? If you got it right, congratulations. You're in the rare minority of people who guessed that this is the 1st string. 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, going up. Now, how do I keep this straight? Well, if you look at your 1st string, it is your skinniest, smallest string. And they keep getting bigger until you get to your 6th string, which is your biggest, fattest string. So I always think the numbers correspond with the size of the string, which is kind of handy and useful to help you remember. All right, what are the strings named? They have the numbers like we just talked about, but they're also named after the note that plays whenever you strike the string. I want you to use your thumb over here on your right hand, and I want you to pluck your 6th string. That note is E. Okay, and as we go down the guitar, we have E, A, D, G, B, E. I want you to try that on your guitar. Just go down and play from the 6th string up to the 1st string and just give it a try. Now, I'm going to give you a little tip that people use to remember the strings, okay? Remember that it starts from the 6th string, and there's a little mnemonic memory device people use, and it is kind of this silly one. Eddie ate dynamite, goodbye Eddie. Eddie ate dynamite, goodbye Eddie. That's something that a lot of students use to keep track of what their strings are, okay? So now that you know what the strings are, the most important thing for you is to make sure that they are in tune. This is a little bit difficult, but we're going to do it, and you can do it. What you need to do is you need to download a tuning app. Or you can have a standalone guitar tuner if you have one. That works great as well. The tuner that I use currently is called Fender Tune. If you're familiar with the Fender guitar brand, that's what it is. It's Fender Tune. It is free, and you can download it, and it works great. I'm going to put a picture of it working up here in just a moment. And what you're going to do, by the way, if you have a new guitar and the strings are way out of tune, consider taking it to a shop and having them tune it for you, because you don't want to feel nervous about it and be insecure, be afraid you're going to break a string. So take it in there and have them tune it for you. And then your guitar should stay in pretty close to being in tune after that. And if you tune it every time you pick it up, it should stay pretty close, and you'll just be tweaking it a bit each time. So I'm going to get the Fender Tune picture up here, and I'm playing this note right here. And my guitar is pretty in tune. So what we're gonna do is it's gonna tell us if the pitch is a little bit too high. And another word for that is sharp. If a pitch is a little too high, the word is sharp. If a pitch is a little too low, the word is flat. And then it will tell you how to adjust your string. You wanna let it kind of resonate a little bit to make sure the tuner really hears it. Also, you don't want to talk like I'm doing, because it will also hear your voice, and that can interfere as well. So play it and let the tuner hear it. If you have it on your phone and it's having a little bit of a hard time hearing it, you might consider actually placing the tuner on top of your guitar right here, or on your leg to where it's in physical contact with your guitar. And the vibrations will go straight into the tuner and will help it to respond a little better. So this 1st string is E, and it's going to tell me if I need to bring it up or take it down just a little bit. How are we going to do that? Well, with the tuners. Get that out of the way. We'll talk about that thing later. These are your tuners right here. Okay, there's usually 3 on top, 3 on bottom. With your guitar though, who knows? Maybe you have all of them on the bottom, all of them on the top. Sometimes that happens. The most important thing when tuning, the most important thing is to make sure you are turning the correct tuner, okay? I just broke a string like a year ago because I was chatting with a student turning the wrong tuner. And there's something in our brain that when it doesn't change on the tuner, instead of thinking, on your electronic tuner, instead of thinking, maybe I'm turning the wrong tuner here, we just think, oh no, I guess I just need to do it more. And we start turning it, and pretty soon you can break a string or you can get a real floppy string. So make sure you're turning the right one. If the pitch is a little bit too low, if it's flat, you need to tighten it a little bit. If the pitch is a little bit too high, it's sharp, then you need to loosen it a little bit, okay? The tautness of the string is what controls the pitch, because pitch is determined by the vibration of the string, and the tighter the string is, the faster it vibrates. And so the pitch is higher. Maybe you've done this with a rubber band, as a kid or as an adult. So you kind of get the physics of making a string achieve a certain pitch. So that's it. I hope that this goes well for you. By the way, if you're not sure if you're tightening or loosening over here, give it a try. Just turn it in a direction, see if it gets better or worse. Okay? And then just, if it's getting worse, go the opposite way. Make sure you're turning the right tuner. Also make sure that your tuner is saying the correct string. For instance, if you're supposed to be tuning your D string, your fourth string, but you keep playing it and the tuner says E instead of D, you might be so high that your tuner thinks that it's hearing an E. Now this probably won't happen with a guitar tuner, okay, because it'll probably know what the string is supposed to be, but just be aware that you want the tuner to say the right note that you're going for, and you want to make sure you're turning the right tuner, and then pick a direction, see if it gets better or worse. And pretty soon, you'll have all of them in the green. Good luck.